Leave the World Behind. The movie. It's here. Is it signs of the apocalypse? Be right back. Welcome back, guys. Today we're going to be talking about the movie that everybody's talking about, Leave the World Behind. I tell you,
Leave the World Behind.
Leave the World Behind. And the only reason I took interest in even wanting to look at the Netflix movie was because Barack Obama and Michelle Obama were the producers behind it.
I heard that.
So I know I watched the whole movie. I almost started getting anxieties. I wanted to know what was going on, what's happening, this type thing. Were you able to watch the whole movie?
I only saw bits and pieces of it, and especially, I've been hearing a lot of it, especially on social media. So I'm definitely gonna watch the whole video today.
Well, you better hold your horse, because I'm sorry, there's gonna be some spoiler alerts, because I tried to dissect this movie. I tried to understand this movie. Where did this movie even come from? How did it come about? So I'm gonna give you a little bit of history behind the world. Leave the World Behind. And guys, thank you again for returning back to watch Fish and Chips. I'm Randy, and this is my boy Brian right here. And we're gonna try to dissect exactly what this movie was saying. I wrote some notes, but I wanna give you some background knowledge behind it, outside of Barack Obama and Michelle producing this thing.
And also, guys, don't forget to also like and subscribe to the channel.
So anyway, Leave the World Behind is a thrilling piece of work that strikes the right balance of the apocalyptic tension and realism. And part of the reason why I was able to accomplish this was because of Barack Obama's contributions. The psychological thriller is based on Rumaan Allen's 2020 novel of the same name. So this came from a novel, which achieved critical acclaim. It follows the story of two families whose lives become intertwined after a blackout becomes a major crisis. This film adaptation of Leave the World Behind boasts an incredible and star-studded cast who strongly contributes to the way the twists and the turns of the book expertly come to life on the screen. So again, this is based from a book. And my thing is, Barack Obama being president, and they're saying he's added some little bit more things into this situation to make it even more realism, in apocalyptic. And is this something that's happened, or are they sending us signs, and what can we learn in this? So
do you think that Barack Obama is telling us something? I mean, he was the president, so he must know a lot of info that's going on, especially around the world.
Yeah, I believe so. I believe we've been told something. So I was trying to really, really listen and watch and hear everything that was going on. Again, I was really kind of disturbed in the beginning, just watching the movie. It does seem like a warning to America of things to come. So
and this is in Netflix, right?
Yeah, this is on Netflix.
Okay, so if you guys want to watch this, it's on Netflix. I think it came out a couple days ago. So yeah.
So anyway, the movie takes place in New York as a family rents an Airbnb across the river in a beautiful home. And New York seems to have been attacked by other countries.
Why New York?
So there seemed to be some type of power outage, cyber attacks, satellites not working, people not able to use their phones, and they presuming that this has been done by the Koreans or Russia or China is behind this thing. So you see planes falling down. Again, people can't use their phones. Everybody going in just chaoticness. And so it's really, really just, it keeps your attention, as to what is going on, what's about to happen. There's a point in there where I remember this sound was made where everybody had to hold the ears in, whether the sound in, because this sound was hurting the ears and believed to have caused radiation and different things that was going on.
I mean, that really sounds like, like what's going on right now. I mean, like I said, we trust the technology that we have. Like, we really rely on these phones.
Yeah.
And like you said, I mean, we really rely on technology so much. Like you said, that's crazy. If there was a blackout right now, like you said, airplanes will be falling. Now that's a little bit scary.
Yeah, and the crazy thing again, like you said, imagine there's no satellites, there's no TV.
Well, we use these phones on a day-to-day basis. Can you just imagine if like you said, our connection, like how we supposed to live on a day-to-day if this is what we rely on?
Exactly. And that's the thing, even in the movie, there was a little girl that had on a shirt that says NASA. The little boy had a shirt on that said obey. And just NASA in Hebrew means to deceive. To deceive. So it was just interesting in the whole thing. And there was a point where the two guys were in the car, the radio kind of act crazy, and it said something to the effect of the white ship Lion in 1619. So I had to go look that up. But in 1619, slaves came on a ship and landed in a Port Comfort in Virginia. So also there was this issue where these deers were just watching you, just looking at you.
Wow.
As if they're waiting and watching to see if something is going to happen, that something is about to happen.
Yeah, and like sometimes animals can kind of tell something is about to happen, because I don't know if you guys watched this as well, or you have watched this, where there's like birds flying, you know what I'm saying, and something they know that's happening, they do some strange things, and then I don't know if you recently seen that, some fishes also like it's been end up somewhere where they ain't supposed to. So there's a lot of stuff that's going on. This is really interesting.
Exactly. So while I was sitting there watching this thing, there was just so many type of Easter eggs in this movie. So many things I was trying to figure out. So much was being said. So it's really, y'all, it was just filled with a lot of symbolisms, people, races, class, artwork, media, psychological, emotional issues. I started having emotional issues basically just watching this thing. It dealt with culture, it dealt with family, and even the license plates on the car said TNE6. And TNE stands for the next event. So there was a scene in the movie where the girl and Julia Roberts in the forest with the deer, which I believe as these deers watched them, then more deers came watching them. You know what I mean? Just sitting there watching them. And one thing I noticed that they did, as it looked like the deers were becoming aggressively, like about to attack them or look like they're going to attack them, Julia Roberts and the other girl, the girl in the film, they just started going, right? But get what I'm saying? They stood their ground, though. Yeah. They stood their ground. Whatever was about to happen, they wasn't going to let it happen. So they got strength. And they got and then these deers went away.
Yeah, because I've been seeing a lot of videos. I don't know if you have seen this, or maybe you guys have seen this. When people encounter bears, on their walks, and they have to, in a sense, do that to kind of intimidate the bear, because if you don't do that, that bear is gonna come after you.
Oh yeah.
And so I've noticed that they try to, say like, to kind of scare it off. That ain't gonna scare the bear. It's just gonna get him closer to you. But at least it makes him think like, maybe I should not mess with the humans. But that maybe, I guess, is a tactic that, that I hopefully maybe will not want to use especially on a bear.
Exactly. And another symbolism in the movie, one thing you notice about the little girl in the movie, she was always aware of her surroundings. Yeah. But then the boy was always more worldly. There was a scene in there where he was watching this girl that was living at the house with him, and basically, he looked at the binoculars. He was more concerned with the worldview, and the little girl was more concerned with her surroundings, what is going on, what is happening, this type thing. And then you literally get to almost like the end. And I'm trying not to say too much because I know you haven't watched all of it, and for most of you, maybe you have not seen it all.
This is it's still informative.
Yeah.
Because again, okay, so you're saying that this is a book, right? That was written from a novel.
Based from a book.
But then, so where does Barack Obama come into play? Did he like kind of...
Well, with them producing the movie, him and Michelle, he had to give some more insight into that thing, so make people go like, wait a minute, how much of this is true? Are we being warned about something that's about to happen?
What do you believe? Do you believe Barack is actually trying to tell us something? And I mean, Barack don't just be putting out or producing movies like this.
Yeah, I don't think it's so much about Barack as it is the end times and prophecy, and just another way of which it could happen. And they chose, communication, turning off your communication, the way you communicate, the way you deal with life. And it's like the movie was trying to turn people against each other. There's situations where like they're being turned against each other.
So what would happen? Because again, we work with our phones. Mm-hmm. What happened? It's just for you. What would happen if you couldn't communicate with anybody or you couldn't use your phone?
I mean, I'm pretty sure I'd probably freak out. You know what I mean? Anxieties, because you're so used to communicating. You're so used to picking up a phone or turning the television on. Now all of a sudden there's a blackout. So you can't do none of this
would
stuff.
you feel lost?
I think I feel crazy. I mean,
a lot of people depend on our phones, mm-hmm. which I totally get.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, but the movie again, it seems to imply that again, Russia, China, and Korea were, doing this, making this happen. Mm-hmm. So also you can deal with the border issues because it looked as if it's possible that maybe these people have already migrated over here and crossed the border and already preparing things that they're already here.
Yeah. I mean, you heard a couple months ago, what China did as far as bringing that spy balloon.
Yeah.
So as I'm saying, there's a lot of truth to that, and there's a lot of stuff that's happening as of right now is in 2023. Like it is a little scary.
Yeah. And even in the movie, one of the men in the movie, he was driving down this road and all of a sudden he saw like this red looking like blood like stuff coming out of the sky.
Like UFOs?
But it was actually cards, like red cards or whatever. Then it came out of the sky, started falling all over his car, and it was believed that was something from Korea or Russia. Basically something was written on those cards like "Death to America," this type thing. So again, it was just so many different symbolisms in this movie that I literally have to go back again and just watch it over again. Mm-hmm. But I noticed also in the movie, again, not trying to give it all away, but the little girl who was always aware of her surroundings actually made it to a house that had a bunker. She was literally in there eating first. She was like, okay, Mom, y'all not going to listen. She went into this house that had a bunker, went down there, turned the lights on, which made me feel like, well, do I need a bunker?
I fear
is something going to happen if war break out? Do I have a place to go to? Mm-hmm. Right. So it made my mind was just thinking so many
it just makes
things.
you think.
It really makes you think. And, even at the end part of it, I would say this, there was like bombings, within New York, you know what I mean? But it looked like it was from something that was already happening from the ground. There was an unmarked military that was there. Mm-hmm. So, which to me made me feel like, again, like I said earlier, like, this unmarked military that's against America is already here. It's already here. So that was the feeling that it gave me.
You see right now what's happening in Israel, there's a lot
Ukraine, there's a lot going on. So I think that this movie is telling us to open up our eyes that something is being going on. Don't just be sitting there watching the NFL or college basketball or be so engaged in so much stuff that you're not watching what is going on in the world, what's going on in your world. Yeah. Is America about to be attacked and we're not ready for it? Are we woke? The little girl, she was very much aware what was going on, even over the adult people that kind of didn't know really what was going on. Mm-hmm. So I think it makes me pay attention more to my surroundings, what's going on, this type thing. But overall, I enjoyed the movie. But like I said, I just started getting little anxieties, this type thing as to what all the symbolism in the movies, because again, the deers began to freak me out, because again, in the movie, the lady, Julia Roberts, and the daughter, the little black girl, they saw these deers, and the deers kept coming up more and more and more and looking aggressive. And it's like, Julia Roberts and the girl were like, we're going to take a stand. Yeah. We're not going to obey this thing. We're not, we're going to stand through this. Yeah. Even in fear, we're going to stand through this.
Just years.
Because it was interesting that it seemed like the government was trying to make everybody go against each other. There's no food, you can't communicate.
I mean, it really sounds like the stuff that we've been experiencing these last couple of years. I mean, like what you're saying, from the pandemic, from 2020 till now, till we have inflation, and we got wars that's happening, in different areas, food in some countries there's becoming less and less. I mean, it's something to be aware of, and
Exactly. And my question, guys, I asked you all, is this movie trying to tell us something? If so, what do you think it's trying to tell us? Put it in the comments. I want to read your comments. I want to know, because I feel like the movie is trying to tell us something. The conspiracy theories, it's trying to tell us something. I would love to hear, what y'all think about the movie.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, again, we have so many distractions, from our phones to stuff on TV. I mean, it's good to, to stay on top of this, because you want to be prepared, for in case something does happen. I mean, you're seeing the signs, you're seeing the stuff that's happening overseas. You see the stuff that is happening here in America. So it's good to, to say, and those people that, like you said, there's some people that already have bunkers. Like, they are really prepared.
You know what? I never thought about having a bunker until after I saw this movie. Now I'm like, okay, I need to have a place to go just in case this happens.
I mean, we have to, also make sure like we have food saved up just in case something does happen, and we are without, I don't know, power, or because without power, well, guess what? We can't heat up our food, or
you can't do a lot of
you
stuff.
Can't do a lot of stuff. So it makes you think.
I'll tell you. I mean, my anxieties just got to going. I'm serious. I was like, whoa, what? But it opened up my mind to the possibilities, of what could happen, because we know Hollywood is famous for putting out movies, and then something end up happening like that a couple of years later. Look at the Simpsons. It's just a lot.
The Simpsons are really good at foretelling the future.
Yeah,
but you said it's it's good and bad as far as listening to the news, because it's good to see what's happening around the world. But some of the stuff in the news is sometimes not true.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to, but like you said, it's just really good to stay on top of, anything, and not be distracted by the things that, that the media tries to put out, because again, it could be false, but again, it could be true.
But again, most importantly, it makes me look at the border differently. Who's coming over here? We don't know.
Yeah, that's definitely
Could there
true.
be unmarked military that's already here in place, ready to set up nukes and bombs?
Yeah.
And this actually happen? Are they already here? So it makes you really, really think, about our borders. Have they been paid off? Somebody at the border been paid off to allow others to come in? We just don't know. But so it just make me want to pray, but keep my eyes open and stay aware, and not be so focused on worldly events, what's going on in the world, not watching Cardi B and Offset and whoever else artists, and just keeping your focus off of what's really going on. I think that this movie wakes us up.
Yeah. And I think it's good that we talk about this all the time, as far as, even though there's a lot of stuff that's going on around the world, it's good to trust God.
Yeah.
That's all we can do. Trust God for his protection, trust God, with our lives, because again, anything can happen at any given point.
Yeah.
Anything can happen in this podcast right now. I'm not trying to speak anything bad, but anything happen.
But that's the only way I found peace. After watching the movie, I found peace knowing that God, is in control. God doesn't want us to be stupid. We need to be praying for our country, praying for our world, because we know that a lot of things are going to happen, and there will be wars. You just want to be ready and prepared. And so that's my thing.
just don't want to be on an airplane when this stuff happens.
Oh my God.
That is not cool. That is not cool.
I already have issues, traumas with flying anyway.
Yeah.
But in the movie, just to see the airplane drop out of the sky, and people dead, and captains dead, and people all over the beach or whatever, that is something. So
that's why, as we say, you gotta trust God, because again, anything can happen at any point. You know, not to say that it's gonna happen to us, but again, like you said, if God was in the picture, my stress level and anxiety levels would be at an all-time high. That's all I'm saying. It's just too much out there. Too much that's going on. Too much.
I have to totally agree with that, and you know, again, I think you have to saw the whole movie. I won't say everything, but I said enough. Spoiler alert. But it is a good movie.
You know, even like I said, good or bad, it's still good to be informed of what's going on. That way, you know how to deal with it, maybe, or how to better prepare yourself, or you know, anything. So it's good to, you know, I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it, and I definitely. You know, and if you guys haven't seen it as well, it's on Netflix.
Yeah.
So you guys can go and stream it, you know, enjoy it.
And I'm going to definitely watch it again and again, because there were so many different symbolisms and types and all this type of stuff. So it's very prophetic to me.
So what do you think? Do you think the end is near?
Well, you know, the end could be near in a lot of type of ways. You can get a car wreck and die. The end is near.
That's true.
So anything could happen. But as far as like what the movie is saying and what the apocalypse and what's going to happen on the world, in the country, I don't know when it's going to happen.
What about biblically, though?
Biblically, we still don't know. We don't know the hour, the time, the day. We don't know. We don't know. We can look at signs and we can see signs and wonders, but we still don't know the exact.
Because you know, I hear a lot of people, you know, how they say, well, we are living in end times because, you know, the Bible talks about rumors of war and stuff happening, famines around the world, you know, stuff like that, and they're saying that, you know, we are living that right now.
Yeah, well, we've been saying that for years. I've been hearing that for years and years. You still don't know the hour, the date, or the time. But my thing is, if you see some of the signs, you know, just begin to pray and you know, just try to stay awoke, you know, and aware of what's going on in your country, your environment, your world. And so it was definitely an enlightenment. I would tell all of y'all just go out there and watch it. You know, it just opened up my mind to a lot of things. So
it wasn't entertaining. It was just informative.
It was very informative.
Okay.
Very informative. And it's kind of like a puzzle. You're trying to figure out what did they mean by that?
Yeah.
What did they mean by this?
So it's like a mystery type of movie.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, it gives you all this. Okay.
You know, or what was Barack Obama trying to, you know,
yeah, I'm just curious, I'm just, why out of all of these things, why would he produce this movie?
I don't know.
That's just it.
That's the only reason why I wanted to watch it. To me, it gave credibility. Maybe he's telling us something since he was the president.
I mean, that's what I'm saying, because
things that
I'm pretty sure he's seen a lot of stuff being the president.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Then that the public does not know, you know, and I don't know if you know, I mean, I believe there's aliens out there. I believe there's UFOs. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like they're trying to hide this stuff.
The government has a lot of ways of hiding things. So I just believe that Barack Obama made some type of contribution to let us kind of know what might be going on or what's been talked about that the public doesn't know. So again, it was just amazing to me. And guys, just go watch it. And you know, I think you'll be enlightened. Yeah. For those that are asleep, you would definitely be awoke.
And let us know as well. You know, leave a comment. You know, let us know. Did you like it? Did you enjoy it? You know, was it informative? Did you learn something new from this? You know?
Exactly.
Are you gonna be awake now?
Well, you know, again, I'm gonna go back and watch it again. It was just very, very informative.
All right, guys. Well, again, man, that was very informative as far as what we've heard and what we've seen on this movie, Leaving the World Behind, and it's definitely on Netflix, so you guys can go ahead and stream that out and look at it, and you know, let us know what you guys feel about it. Also, if you like this type of content as well, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. All right, guys. Well, there you have it, guys. That was another episode of Fish and Chips here with my boy Randy.
Woo!
And again, we'll catch you on the next video.
Yay.
Peace out. Stay safe and stay woke.